I would like to say a number of things about Bob Costas' commentary on gun control. First, Bob Costas is an award-winning journalist. Second, he dropped out of Syracuse University, and I don't know what credentials he actually has to comment on gun control issues. Third, in fact, he profits from the violence in our society. He gets some of his pay from broadcasting football games, and those football games are injuring the players. In fact, I went to high school and was on the track team, wrestling team, and football team with someone who's become a poster child for brain injuries. That would be the late, great Mike Webster. The final thing I would like to say to Bob Costas is, stay off my lawn. The reason we do not need any more gun control laws are, one, we already have enough laws. For example, in the event someone and their girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, or wife got in a loud argument in the parking lot of a large box store or mall, they could be charged with disorderly conduct, and they could forever be barred from having firearms. Second, the Second Amendment gives the right to bear arms to individuals. The case of Heller and McDonald make it clear that the right to bear arms applies to individuals. To show the problems associated with gun control laws, I divided the population up into a number of boxes. These boxes are not mutually exclusive. The first box is the mentally ill box. Most of the mentally ill people could not harm anyone. Then in the mentally ill box also goes the dangerous ones. Then there are the dangerous but unable to perform. For example, this is a gun. The way you have to do if you want to shoot someone is you get this out, you put the bullets in there, you close it up, you find the person, and you shoot them. Most of the unable to perform would not be able to solve that simple task. Then you get into the criminal behavior. There are some just bad people. We wouldn't want them to have firearms. Generally, they're self-limiting. Then there are people like thieves, drug users, drug sellers, and nuisances. Whether they have guns or not is for the most part irrelevant. Then there are people who had a bad day. Then there are people who injure others. We don't want them to have firearms. Generally speaking, if you go around harming others, you'll soon find your ability to have firearms goes away. Then there are people who injure others that they don't know. These people are especially dangerous, and they shouldn't have firearms. And generally speaking, they don't. Then there are professional criminals. Those people generally obey the law with regards to firearms, and they conduct themselves in a way that they're not going to go to prison. Then there's the law-abiding group. This is a group which would be infringed upon if there was more gun control. That's the great bulk of humanity falls in this box. And the problem is there's those who may slip into the criminal box. They include people like Javon Belcher. Had he taken a few moments to reflect upon it, apparently he would not have killed Cassandra Perkins. in the event that he had not been an NFL player, we would have not heard about it. His story is fairly common. Although he wasn't married to Cassandra Perkins, there's a word called cuckold. It's a word in the English vocabulary, and that essentially describes his condition. He believed that his girlfriend was cheating on him. His solution was to kill her and himself. I would not consider it a good solution to the problem. Then there are people like George Zimmerman. I believe under all these circumstances, he will not be found guilty because the state will be unable to prove that he acted in a way that evinces utter disregard for human life. Then there's Michael Dunn. That was referenced in the Bob Costas report. He is the guy who shot a young teenager down in Florida. It's my belief that he will be convicted of second-degree murder and in numerous counts of reckless endangerment. Then there is Raul Rodriguez. He was a guy down in Texas who decided to manufacture a stand-your-ground defense while he shot his neighbor over some loud music, and he is now doing 40 years in a Texas prison. Then there was Jerome Urslander. He is a pharmacist from Oklahoma. His pharmacy was being robbed. He shot one of the robbers. He chased two of the other robbers. They got away. He came back, and he finished off the robber he shot. He is now doing life in prison in Oklahoma. And so one of the places where you'd have to look at is those in the law-abiding group that could slip into criminal behavior. There is a movie that was out in 2002 called Minority Report, which indicates the type of problems associated with preemptively stopping those people from having guns. You know, if you think about this list of 5 people, what could have been done in each of those 5 cases to say that those 5 people shouldn't have guns? Then you get into the people who slip into mental illness before being labeled as mentally ill. Those would include Adam Lanza, who did the shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, and Jason Roberts, who did the recent shooting out in Portland, Oregon. Again, you'd have to do things like were depicted in the Minority Report to be able to detect these people. So since the Second Amendment protects people and their right to bear arms, and since there will be no solution to figuring out how to get these people before they commit their crimes, there cannot be effective gun control.